I'm Jeffrey Lentz. I'm the pastor of Port St. Joe First United Methodist Church. On October the 10th, a devastating hurricane came ashore in Mexico Beach, right here at our doorstep, and did devastating damage. As I stand here in the ruins of our sanctuary, I'm reminded of a story about St. Francis and his calling. He found himself walking through a field where he came upon a dilapidated chapel, and he began to pray there, and he looked up at the cross behind him, and from the cross he heard the voice of Jesus say, "Rebuild my church, my house is in ruin." And from that day on, he began to rebuild that building, and it became a center of a new community that formed. We here in Port St. Joe are feeling the same call. God has called us to rebuild this house, the Lord's house that is in disrepair. This church is a community center, and our members are busy right now serving in the community, passing out flood buckets, tarping roofs. But in order to do all this ministry now and in the future, we need to restore the Lord's house that is in disrepair. We discovered in Francis' story that God had not really even primarily called him to restore that chapel. Later in his life, he realized that God had called him to bring revitalization to the entire worldwide church. I believe that God is doing something special here in Port St. Joe. The amount of love and sharing and prayer that we have received tells me something unusual is happening. The Holy Spirit is working, and the restoration and revitalization and revival that starts here in this rebuild, I believe it's a spiritual matter that will rebuild the United Methodist Church and the Church of Christ around the world. I hope that you'll join us in this process of rebuilding.